Hi friends, my name is Aqil Ahmed, and in this particular video tutorial I will show you how to deploy the SSIS package in SSIS catalog and then schedule the package using the SQL agent job. So the agenda of today's video tutorial is that we will deploy the SSIS package, the whole SSIS project to SSIS catalog, and then we'll schedule it. So without wasting further time, let's jump to the demo. I got the SSIS package here, and this is one of the very basic SSIS package, and what it does, it actually drop the customer table from a database and then recreate the customer table if the table exists, and then it actually loads all the CSV file. Those are situated at the D files location. It loads the CSV file into the same customer table. Okay, so if I show you the customer.csv file, so this is one of the very basic pipe delimited file, okay, and contains 1000 records here. So it contains 1000 records, but the first record is the header information, so that's why the total number of records will be 999. So this data will be inserted to a customer table in the training database. So if I show you the customer table from here, so I think it contains 999 records. Yeah, so data is already there, but let me do one thing, that let me truncate the table, truncate table customer. Okay, so now the table is empty, and this is my SSIS package. And if you see the SQL connection here, so the SQL connection is hard coded because there is no FX sign before the connection name, so that's why this is a hard coded connection manager. There is an FX sign before the flat file connection manager, so it means that this is a dynamic connection manager. So if you check the properties of the SQL connection, so this is the SQL server instance name on which server it will execute. Okay, it will connect and will load the data to, and this is the database name, like the database name is training database. So it will insert the data to the customer table, and that table is exists at the training database and at the this particular SQL server instance. So now let me do one thing, that let me execute the SSIS package and show you that the package is running fine right now, and it can load the data from the D files location to the SQL server table, like the customer table. So if I execute the select query, so you can see that it has loaded the data. So now let me just truncate this particular table. So now what I need to do, that I need to actually deploy this package to SSIS catalog at the SQL server, and then I want to schedule the package, and later I want to change the values of the server name and the database name. So I will show you two methods, like how you can change the server name or database name or any other property in the SSIS package from the SQL Server agent job. Okay, so if I expand the integration services catalog, so these are the SSIS projects, those have been deployed to the SSIS catalog. So right now 3 projects are deployed here. Okay, so I will deploy my SSIS project to SSIS DB as well. So I can open the Visual Studio. Okay, and let me stop the execution of the package. Now to deploy the SSIS package to SSIS catalog, we need to right click on the project, click on deploy. Now click next. Here we need to click next, and then we need to provide the SQL server instance name here. So I have deployed this package in the past, so that's why it has already taken the SQL server instance name. But if the SQL server instance name is not here, so you need to copy the SQL server instance name from here. You can copy from here, okay, and then paste the SQL server name at this particular location. Now you need to click connect, and then you need to click on browse. So here 3 folders are already there where the packages are already deployed, but I want to deploy my package, my project, to a new folder. So I can create a new folder, and maybe I can call it as first package. Okay, that should be fine. So I can click OK, and then I can click OK, next, deploy. So this will create a new folder, first package, and then we'll deploy my SSIS package to that particular folder. So the deployment is successful, so I can close this one. I can go back to the SSMS, and if I refresh the SSIS DB, so you can see a new folder here, first package. And if you expand the projects, so you can see the project, and if you expand the packages, so you can see the SSIS package, package.dtsx. So this is fine, the package has been deployed. Now if you want to schedule this package, so I can expand the jobs, and I can right click and create new job. So I can call my job as first SQL job. You can call it anything, okay, I can click on steps and then I need to click on new. So this will, the step will be the step like what exactly you want to do in the SQL agent job. There can be multiple steps in a single SQL agent job. Like you can call multiple SSIS packages. Like first you can call one package, then you can call another package in another step. But I will right now will create only a single step and will call only a single SSIS package. So I can call the step as package, okay, because my package name is the package, so that's why I have given it like this. You can call it anything. From the type I can select the SQL Server Integration Service package, and then the package source is SSIS catalog. You can select the file system as well, and you can select the packages from file system, but right now our package is stored at the SSIS DB, so I will select the SSIS catalog option, and then we need to provide the SQL Server instance name. So my SQL Server instance name is this one, so I can provide the value here. Now I need to click on these three dots and need to select the package that we want to execute. So this is my package. I can select this one and I can click OK. So this way it will execute this package. If you want to schedule the package maybe on daily basis, so you can create a new schedule and you can call the schedule maybe like daily basis. So you need to select daily from here. Now the package will run every day at 12 AM. If you want to change the schedule like maybe 10 AM, so you can change it. Okay, so I can click OK. Okay, so our SQL job has been created, and right now if I see there is no data in the table, so I can right click on the job and click start job at step. So this will execute the job immediately, okay, irrespective of the schedule. However, because there is a schedule there, so it will run on the given schedule as well. So the job ran fine, and if I execute the select query, so it should select the data from the table. So you can see that the data has been populated to the customer table. So this is working absolutely fine. If you want to see like how many times a job has been executed, so you can see it from the view history. So you can see the execution from here, and you can also see the execution from the SSIS catalog as well. Right click on it, reports, all executions, and then you can see like how many times the job has executed. If you go to the all messages, so you can see the messages in the detail as well. This is very helpful in case of the SSIS package failure, because you can see the failure messages in detail. Okay, so this is the basic information right now. What I can do, I can close this one. You know, if you right click on it and go to the all executions, so you can also see like when the package was started, when it got completed, and like how much time it took to execute the package. So it took 3.3 seconds to execute the SSIS package. So I can close this one. So we are good here so far. Now suppose if you want to change the server name or the database name, like to which server the table will be created and like in which table the data will be loaded. So right now if you see the SSIS package, so there is one SQL connection manager. So according to this particular SQL connection manager, the data will be loaded to that particular server and this particular database, okay, and the table name will be customer. So this is fine. Now suppose if tomorrow you want to execute the same SSIS package on another server, like you created the SSIS package at the development server giving the name of the development server. Now once you are done, so now if you want to execute your SSIS package either on the QA server or maybe on the production server, so you want to change the server name. So how you can do that? Okay, so there are two options there, and for some of the persons, like for some of the companies, I have seen that you know, they do not create the project parameters, and without using the project parameter they just change the value of the server name or the database name in the connection manager in the SQL agent job. Okay, so they directly change it in the SQL agent job. I have seen several packages where the persons do like this. Okay, so this is one of the things, so you should be aware. You know, this is not a good approach. I'm telling you, this is not a good approach. The best option is that you should always try to create the project parameters, in the SSIS package, and using the project parameter change the values in the connection managers. But I have seen some packages where the persons, they don't create the project parameter and they directly change the values of the server name and the database name directly in the connection manager from the SQL agent job. So let me show you like how they do, so that at least you know, like if you are going through some of the packages, so at least you know like how they can change the connection string. So I can go to the SQL agent job. So if you right click on the SQL agent job and go to the properties, okay, and go to the steps here, and if you click on the edit button, when the SQL agent job will run, so it will execute this particular SSIS package. Okay, so this is fine. Now if you want to change the connection manager, so right now the package is stored at this instance. Okay, so if you go to the configuration here, and now from the configuration there are no parameters here, okay, because no project parameters are exist in the SSIS package. Now if you go to the connection managers option here, okay, so you will find the two connection managers. The first connection manager is the flat file connection manager, okay, which is this one, that which is already dynamic, so we don't need to worry about this one. Now the another connection manager is the SQL connection manager. So this SQL connection manager. So now right now the SQL connection manager, the server name is this one, it is pointing to the 2019 instance, and the database name is this one, this is pointing to the training database. But now suppose if you want to change the connection manager and if you want to run the package on another server, so you can change the server name here directly. Okay, so these things I have seen that several people do this. Okay, this is not a good approach, but if someone is doing it, so you should be aware that they can do like this. So right now if you see all the values, they are not in the bold, none of the values in the bold. But if you will change the server name, then the value will be changed into bold. So it means that we are changing the server name here. So suppose I want to execute this package on another server, I want to load the data to another server instead of the SQL Server 2019. So how we can do that? So right now I have two instances. This is my basic instance, the instance where the SSIS package is stored. But I also have another instance, and which is called as 2017 instance. So I will connect to this instance 2017, and if I expand the databases, so I have several databases here. Suppose if I expand the work database, so in the work database I don't have a customer table. Okay, so let me try to provide the SQL Server 2017 instance name and provide the another database name, work database, and let's try to execute the package and see how it will work. So to change the server name, you need to click on these three dots, provide the server name here, click OK. So as soon as I provided the new server name, I change the server name, so you can see that this value changed into the bold. So it means that you have modified this value. Earlier this value was not here. Okay, same way if you want to change the database name, so you can click on these three dots and you can give the database name here, work. Database name is work, so I can click OK. Now you can see that the database name is also into the bold. So it means that database value is changed and the server value is also changed. Okay, so I can click OK. Okay, so now what will happen when I will execute my SSIS package? So it will populate the data to this particular database, into the work database. It will create a table customer here, and then it will load the data into that particular table. So right now the data is already populated to the 2019 instance. You can see the value here. So let me truncate the customer table from here, and let me do one thing, that let me execute the SQL agent job. So this is my SQL agent jobs. I can right click and I can click on start job at step. So let's see how it goes. Alright, so it seems like the SQL agent job got failed. Okay, and if you want to see the reason of the failure, so you can go to the SSIS DB, right click on the project, go to reports, click on all executions. So here you can see the detailed error message. So first time it ran fine, now second time it got failed. So to see the failure message, you need to click on the all messages, and then scroll down. It is saying that check that the object exists in the database. Okay, so it's saying invalid object name customer. So the reason is, it seems like it is trying to validate the table even before executing the SSIS package. So the reason might be that the delay validation property of the package might be set to false. So if you right click on the at the control flow and click on the properties, so it will show you the package properties. So there is a package property delay validation. So right now the delay validation is set to false. We need to set it to true. What delay validation means, that if you set the delay validation to false, so it means when the package will run, before running the package, it will try to locate all the files, like it will try to locate all the tables, whether the table exists in the database or not. So right now, because the customer table does not exist in the work database, so that's why it got failed. However, we are actually already creating the table in the SSIS package, but before running the package, it is validating all the tables used in the SSIS package. So that's why it got failed. Now because we have set the delay validation to true, so it means that we are telling the SSIS package that please do not do any validation and let the package run as it is. So now what it will do, it will create the table here and then it will work fine. So I did some modification to the package. I just changed the delay validation to true. So now I need to redeploy the SSIS package to the SSIS DB catalog so that the new package can be used. So I can click connect, next, deploy. It is saying that the package already exists, so do you want to overwrite it? So I can say yeah, overwrite it, that's fine. So I can click close. So the package has been redeployed. Now I can just close this one, and now let me rerun the SQL agent job. So hopefully this time the job should run fine, and it should actually create a new customer table at the 2017 instance into the work database and should load data there. So this time the job ran fine. So what I can do, I can copy the select query from here, and then I can expand the 2017, expand the work database. Maybe I can refresh the tables. So I should see a customer table here. Yeah, so there is a customer table. I can delete the database name from here. So you can see that from 2017 instance, the data got loaded to the customer table. So this is working perfectly fine, like how we expected. Let me copy this one and truncate this one. Okay. So now this table is empty and this table is also empty. Okay, so this was one of the way like how you can change the server name from the SQL agent job using this option, like using the connection string. And this is not a good way. Okay, I'm just telling you this is not the best approach. Let me show you what is the best approach. So Microsoft has introduced a new feature like project parameters. So if you want to make any value dynamic, like if you want to pass any value from the SQL agent job like the server name or the database name, then you should use the project parameters to pass those values. So right now this connection manager, this is a hard-coded connection manager because there is no FX sign before it, and this connection manager is a dynamic connection manager because there is an FX sign before it. Okay, so we need to make the SQL connection manager as dynamic, and for that we need to create the two project parameters here. The first parameter will be server name, so I can call it as server name, and the data type will be string here, and I need to provide my SQL server instance name. So I can provide the SQL server instance name initially. Okay, now I can create another project parameter and I can call it as database name, and the data type will be string here, and the database name is training for now. Okay, so I can provide the value here. So I can save this one and close this one. Now I need to make the SQL connection dynamic. So right click on it, go to properties, go to expressions, click on the three dots. From the properties, select the server name property and click on the three dots. The server name property will be assigned from the project parameter server name. Click OK. Similarly, the initial catalog property, this will be assigned from the database name. So just drag and drop the project parameter database name here. Evaluate expression, click OK. So now the server name and the database name for this connection manager, this is dynamic. Okay. So now let me just redeploy the SSIS package to the SSIS catalog, and then I can see those project parameters, the two project parameters that I just created. You can see the project parameters there, and you can pass the values to the project parameter from the SQL agent job. So let me close this one and let me open the SSMS, go back here. So if I go to the properties of the SQL agent job, if I go to the properties of this one, and if I go to the steps, and if I click on the edit, so you can see the project parameter there. Now I can go to the configuration, and when I go to the configuration, then under the parameter you can see the two parameters here. the server name parameter and the database name parameter. Okay, and if you click on the connection managers now, and if you click on the SQL connection, so now you can see that the those two properties, the server name and database name, they have been removed from here because that property will be assigned from the project parameter. Because otherwise, if they have not removed it, and suppose if I provide the the server name here and the database name here, and I also provide the values, it might get confused, like which one to use, like which value to use. So that's why they have removed the server name and database name property from the connection string from here. Now you can, if you want to change the values, like if you want to provide a new server name, so you can simply click on the three dots, okay, and provide your SQL Server instance name. So suppose I want to load the data to 2017 instance, so you can see that this value has been changed. And if you want to load the data to another database, so maybe I can select the database name from here. So suppose now this time I want to load the data to the test database. So let me see if I have a table, customer table in the test database. So I don't have a customer table here. Okay, so now what I can do, I can actually change the database name here, and I can call it as test. Click OK. So now the server name has changed to the 2017, the database name has changed to the test database. So I can click OK, click OK. So the SQL agent job has saved the new values. Okay, now if I re-execute the SQL agent job, then the data will be loaded to the customer table in the 2017 instance into the test database. So the SQL job ran fine, and if you go back to the SQL Server 2017, and if I refresh the table, so you should see a customer table now with the 999 records. Okay, yeah, so you can see that we got a new table and it has 999 records. If you want to see like how many times the job has run, so you can right click and go to the view history. So you can see that like the number of times the job is executed. But if you will try to find the error message from here, so you won't see the error message from here if the package is stored in the SSIS DB, because it is saying that to view the details of the execution, right click on the integration services catalog and open all execution report, right? So that's why you need to right click on the job, go to reports and click on all executions. So from here you can actually see the all executions of the SSIS packages. So the project has executed 4 times, 3 times it was successful and 1 time it was failed. And to see the failure messages, you can click on the all messages and you can see the actual error message from here, invalid object name customer. Yeah, so I think this was about the deployment of the SSIS packages or the project to the SSIS catalog, and how you can pass the values dynamically from the SQL agent job. If you got any question, then you can comment on the video. Yes, I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you like the video, then please click the like button. Do subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and click on all so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much.